China is the only country in the world with more than 100 cities where the population exceeds 1 million. In comparison, North America and Europe together have pretty much half of that. If we were back home, that would be half of the country visiting the square at the same time. And so it's no surprise that most people see this country as this urbanized metropole. Yet there is another side to China, and this rarely seen part is where we're heading today.
But to get there, we first need to jump on a boat for nearly 4 hours. So we started our journey from Guilin, which is a bigger city and with good train connections and stuff. And now we're heading towards Yangshuo, which with 300,000 people living there, in Chinese standards is sort of considered a village. But the reason why most people go there is the amazing nature that you can already see around us, and particularly the karst mountains. But if I'm being completely honest, besides admiring the nature, we have another purpose for coming here.
You see, so far on our adventure, we've seen quite a lot of tourist spots, and although they're very pretty, then to us, they felt a little artificial. And so this time our goal is to venture further from the visitor hotspots and try to figure out why China is trying to hide their countryside from tourists. And on the way there, we've already seen quite a few villages on the side of the river. Fishermen, beautiful mountains. It is no secret that I don't give Liisu enough flowers. Firstly, because she doesn't like flowers. And secondly, because I'm a shit boyfriend. But sometimes I bring flowers. Here you go. So who doesn't know these guys? They're rambutans. Liisu's first time eating rambutans.
So the texture is like cucumber, but it's sort of a sweet appley taste.
Like a jello, but very juicy, very fruity. 4 hours later and we have arrived.
I like that the cruise took us all through the river so we could see where we actually are.
I'm actually quite surprised how many people and how many boats there was. And straight away, there's so many souvenir sellers everywhere. I'd say this corridor is like 500 meters, maybe even a kilometer long, and they're constantly on your side. It's supposed to be off-season, but inside country tourism, so Chinese people themselves, they move around quite a lot still. First impressions, this is not the village. It's a huge town. Okay, it's a city by our standards, because in our country, the biggest city has 450,000 people.
We are village people.
YMCA.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to
what
say yes, so YMCA.
Yeah.
Okay, this is super cool. Like everywhere you look on those streets, you see those big mountains around the town. Golden arches with a backdrop like this. But we still haven't been to the West Street. West Street is supposed to be like the main street where everything is happening all at once.
Everything everywhere, all at once.
Massages, jewelry, clothes,
Fruit.
even electronics.
This is the first time in China that I actually feel that the people selling stuff are aggressive and more, how to say, assertive than regular.
This is a very good move. You give a glass cup, so you need to return the cup to the store. And over there a new one was waiting. I'm having like hard time wrapping my head around the idea that you come to the countryside and then you start shopping to take it back home with a boat.
Yes.
Okay, managed to find this more side street. And I have to say that after like half an hour in Yangshuo and on the West Street, it was exactly what I expected. It's beautiful, like there's a lot of flowers, there are lots of fake flowers. Whenever an actual leaf falls down from a tree, there's gonna be a cleaning lady who like picks it up straight away. It's very beautiful.
It's very convenient.
Yeah, and big brands are here, like...
Everything is just right there and there's constant city noise still.
But this is definitely not what we came here for.
I think we're gonna Agent Bugarov.
Yes, we're gonna bugger off. We're gonna find a way to get to a smaller place and hopefully over there we can actually see the real Chinese countryside, the thing that we came here for.
So we're gonna turn into Agent Bugarov.
No, Liisu, we're in China, so here it's Comrade Bugarov. We managed to find our way out of the city center. Just arrived somewhere. There's a big store behind us, and the gentleman on the right side over there told us that bus should come here. We'll see. This one?
I know many people might ask us why don't we take taxis everywhere we go, but I think it's that we sort of get a kick out of trying to figure it out with public transport. And it's not that much anymore about saving money. It definitely used to be about that, because when we started we had nothing. But now it's more of like, can we figure it out? It's like a sport by itself, and it's so freaking satisfying when we can. It's all about the journey, not the destination, eh?
We've been in China for 3 weeks, a little bit more so far, and we've only traveled with high-speed trains and then mostly stayed in cities. But actually seeing how life works, we can see citrus, greenhouses, sugarcane. It just brings me joy.
Passion fruit in like a drink, juice, something.
I like the feeling that this place has. It's much calmer. Uh-huh. 2 tickets, yes. Uh-huh. We literally have to get over there on the other side of the river just. We booked a place over there, hoping it's further away from the top towns, the cities. We have no idea if we actually succeeded. If we didn't, I'm gonna be a little bit devastated because our whole plan was to see the countryside. But what can you do, right? Chickens on the street, clothes drying, garbage. Babe, I think we have made it.
Did you say garbage? We have made it.
Let's go!
generally happy to see a foreigner in his village.
No, this is a village. This is not the town anymore.
This is a village, I agree. And this is our hotel, right next to a field. Just how I like it. After you. Liisu, somebody has gotten you a bath again.
Oh, very lovely.
Oh, and look at this! Yeah, if you look down, that's real life. If you look up, that's real nature. How much did we pay for it? 30?
I think it was 38 euros.
From the outside, the hotel didn't look fancy at all, but super cool how you have like 270-degree view or something. Mountains there. Yeah, don't mind the TV in the middle. And it continues here. It was an interesting first day. And I really hope that tomorrow we get to see what we came here for. We already had a small little taste. Well said.
It's the first time in my life that I enjoy eating noodles for breakfast.
And would it even be a Chinese breakfast buffet if you wouldn't have a whole sweet potato next to your noodles?
They are pretty filling, I must say.
Yeah. So a thing that we realized is that quite a few things in this area have changed over the last few years. All the travel guides pretty much told us that you should come here and get the bike. That's the best way to get around. But bikes are no longer rented in this region. So what we have left is those things. The views around us are just out of this world. And on the other side, farmland.
Oh, corn.
That's corn. Corn and tangerines. Just small trees, small gardens. It's pomelo season at the moment. We saw them all over the streets as well.
And passion fruit. They're the size of my head.
It's a little funny how much joy it brings to see a real life, what actually runs this country, where the food comes from. Ni hao.
Ni hao.
And I truly appreciate the sounds of nature. We have birds all around us, and it's such a rare thing again.
I think the habit of not throwing trash on the ground comes from two things. First, you learn it in school, but adults learn not to throw trash if they have to clean it up themselves. So like major cleanups and stuff.
But I understand that this habit of throwing trash is still part of the culture here. When you hear me saying such things, don't take it as me complaining. I'm just trying to describe from my point of view how it feels.
We cannot eliminate our bias and our upbringing and our culture, even though we try to be as accepting as possible.
And on the side of the road, whoever has a property here sells everything they have. There's pomelos, there's firewood, there's flowers. This farm stand here is made on trust. You pay 5 yuan, you can go on the mobile app, you scan the QR code, and then you can take a pomelo. In some places the whole mountainside is full of plastic like this. But they're trying to make warmer climate, right?
I think so. That was my hypothesis, that it makes the citrus fruit sweeter.
So we just came to a small little village and we're trying to find a way through it up the mountain. A kind lady just showed me that we have to go up from here.
Oh, piggies. Piggies think that we are coming with food.
No, we're not bringing food. Just good companionship.
They Very demanding.
Yeah, they're very used to humans. Hello. Hello.
Their food.
Here again we see garbage on the ground, pomelos on the trees. It's not perfect, but it's real. Anyhow, it's pretty crazy how much life is between those mountains.
But you can't see this when you're doing the river cruise. You can only see the karst hills, but you don't know what's sort of behind and in between them.
Now we're literally inside a field. A couple of locals showed us that this should be the track that our map is showing.
It's definitely not a tourist route.
I really like those countryside roads, small paths from village to village. And you can also see how steep the hills are where the tangerines and oranges grow. But the view, stunning.
Lehmukikak, lehmukikak. Taas whatever, lehmukikak taas.
And here you can just see meat being dried on the riverside. Huge chunks of it. We've spent pretty much half a day now in the countryside, and it was such an eye-opener.
It made it special.
Yeah.
There were locals who were very warm.
I felt the same about the locals, that the amount of hellos and little waves we got today was the same we would otherwise get in a week.
And people might ask us, why do we seek out those places that are in the countryside, that are obviously not meant for mass tourism, that might be poorer than the rest of the country? We do that in our own country as well.
And I'd say it's a big problem nowadays that many places in the world have started to focus more on how they look on social media instead of what's actually going on. And this little guy is enjoying its retirement. So far before today, we've seen the country, the perfect version of it. There's no garbage, everything is concrete roads. I think it comes down to the fact that the standards of authentic and historic are so different in the West and in China. But seeing what we saw today, it made this place real. And it's pretty funny that we're talking about it now, because if you see behind us and on the riverside, there's an older gentleman just picking up garbage, because this place we are now is accessible for everybody. Just proves our point. And now there's only one thing left to do. We have heard that just around the corner there's a place that many consider to be the most beautiful in a whole China. So for the sunset, we're heading to...
I think we're gonna climb one of those behind us.
Feels like we have found the way up.
Feels like we have found a secret passage. So the place we're going is called Lao Cai Hill. The hiking track starts from the pier.
The journey up, it's pretty rough. Oh, just little carved out stairs. Holy crap, that was hell of a hike.
I feel like I was half dead when I got up. The oxygen is not reaching my cells at the moment proper.
But the views from up here, stunning, so beautiful. You can just see how small everything is compared to the mountains. Yes, there's towns and houses, but compared to the natural beauty, it's nothing. super glad that we got up here, super glad that we got to share this place with you. Such a beautiful part of China. And now only one thing remains.
What have we learned today?
We have learned that behind every beautiful tourist site that is spotless clean in China, there are little elves that keep it clean this way.
We have also learned that public transport is more of an addicting sport rather than a budgeting method for us.
And perhaps most importantly, we've realized that to please a Northern European, you don't need gold and silver. You just have to send them alone into the forest. Friends, thank you for traveling with us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.